Hi everyone. So today I've been doing some channeling with the tall greys. I woke up pre-dawn. It was just almost dawn. The sky was getting a little bit lighter, and lo and behold, there's the tall greys in my room. So they weren't actually solid. They were metaphysical, or just on a slightly higher vibration. So they were kind of like holographic. Which they quite often appear like that, and then they can go into a solid state and then back into the holographic states as they tune into different frequencies. They were saying to me that they were on the 7th dimension, so obviously when they woke me up at that time, that it was because my body was at the right frequency. And they were saying to me stuff about quantum contracts, the quantum portals. They were mentioning the polar shift that's about to happen, and that they're able to write these contracts, and I've given them permission to write these contracts, and then let me look over them, and then I can approve them as a human here, as a representative of humanity, and that will enable us to use the equipment that we already have here, the ancient technology that is under multiple cities throughout the world, and there's portals like stargates and quantum computers, and we can print out a bio clone of ourselves, so we don't throw the equilibrium off and then travel through these portals, which is it's the best way to travel off planet before a polar shift for people that are stuck on the 3D linear time lock. Now, most of us won't be stuck on that, but some people will be, and it's just a lot of peace of mind to know that we're able to get off the 3D linear time lock, and also travel through these portals. And we've done it billions of times in the past. It's only that just now, currently, we have people controlling them or thinking that they have control over them that don't have a clue of how to operate them. They really have the worst intentions. They're using them to try and time lock people. They're using them for weaponry or to try to make weapons and attack. Like, this has nothing to do with what it's for. It's really sad that there's people in these positions of assumed power, and they think that that's an okay way to act. They mentioned the cabal and said that, what was it they said? They said that, what was it? It was something about money, or the quantum contracts being used for weaponry, or I'm pretty sure that's what they were mentioning too. And they were like, what would you do with it? And I said, try and save as many people off the planet as I can before the polar shift, obviously. And, use it for the divine purposes that it has. We've got these really amazing machines to use. And there are people that have had surgeries that I believe are really untoward, and had their bums sewed shut and their guts taken out, and they are pooping in a bag. And there's many of these people living life like this, and we have the equipment, and we've had it for a long time here, where we can just print them out organs, and then they can have a decent quality of life. Yet this is not what's going on. Things like that, it's a real shame that being human, you really want to see some humanity humankind, some kindness. Sometimes we just don't see that demonstrated, and one way is you just see how everyone as a collective is living and what the world leaders do when we need the support that we need. There's still trees, ancient, beautiful trees getting tortured in the Amazon. There's still water getting pumped with fluoride and fracking going on worldwide. Like, come on, wake up. Wake up. Yeah, anyway, and I know there's a lot of good people out there, and the majority of humans have been here many times before, and we are amazing. Some, though, especially the new ones that are still evolving, we have to gauge, as leaders, part of my role and responsibility is to have a look at where they're at. Do we let them come off the 3D and keep them in space on these ships where, like the tall greys, for example, if you get a bioscan of yourself done on the tall grey ship, the minimum is 600 years per scan, like per copy of yourself. Up to 2,000 years. Mine lives for 2,000 because I've got old DNA. So, and that doesn't mean I'm just going to live for 2,000. They said you can just keep getting more printed out. I've already got 3. I've got one on the Lyran ship, one on the Pallades ship, and one on the Tall Grey ship. So I've got 3 already. And I can just do soul transfers from one to one to one. So, I really don't have to stress over it, and my family's pretty well cared for, but there's a lot of us out there across the planet, and I just think that it's an amazing time that we're living in, and an amazing opportunity for us to actually experience our star families, galactic travel, higher dimensions. There's so much, the quantum, like, come on, we know nothing about it really in the scheme of things. Even metaphysical animals, like, people don't talk about that. Our light body's activating. There's so much exciting stuff that's happening now. I just really, really want everyone to make the most of the gifts that they're given, and any spiritual divine insight that they might be having. Listen to your dreams, everyone. Listen to your dreams. And take this time as one not of fear, but one where you can connect to your inner child. You can hug a tree, plant a seed, look up at the stars and check out the different colors and focus on them, and say in your mind, like, if you're a being, if you're a star family member, you know, say hi, and you'll see these stars turn into orbs and move closer to you. It's quite beautiful, it really is. And they usually communicate via telepathically. Also, telekinesis is another thing that people will be flexing, another mind muscle. So if you have a history of spoon bending in your family, like I have in mine, or you feel like sometimes things might be hard for you to do on a 3D level or a lower vibrational level, but when you imagine it in your mind, you feel like you're this big macro consciousness, and you're this giant in the sky, and you can hold the earth like a marble in your hand and sing to it. Now, these are powerful and amazing creation ceremonies. Listen to songs that lift your soul and your spirit. a huge thing. So looking at the law of matter, which is all about the equilibrium, matter from Egypt, it's like mayat, it's matter, equilibrium. So if you look at the laws of matter, one thing on there is about respecting your water. Now, defecating in our water is actually a satanic practice and a spell against humanity, and it's to defecate, to shit in, because defecating, sorry everyone for saying the S word, but defecating is shitting, pooing in water, or pooing anywhere, defecating, right? You defecated, you pooed. So defecating, you deafening your connection with the largest body that connects every part of us here. There's not one human that doesn't have water in their bodies. So we are all connected through water. We are all connected through water. And the oceans are vast, and the rivers and the rains. Water is in every plant. Water is in our food. Water is everywhere. Water is life, right? And we are taught from the small age of 1 to poop in it. Come on, guys, we know better than that. Do you know what my mob did? What we did was we would wrap our poo up in some bark, wrap it up real quick, and we would put it on a big pile of, we had sand, and then all these sticks that we gathered from, they'd fall off the gum trees, because gum trees drop a lot of sticks, so perfect for kindle and fires. We never cut down trees for firewood, never. They drop so many branches. Why would you cut a tree down? It's a never-ending resource. Anyway, so we'll get the sticks, and they'd be on top of the pile of sand. And so we'd just get our poop and we'd just sit it on the top of that. And then every night someone would come along, because they'd be all along the riverways, these piles, and they would light them all up. And that's what we did. It was so simple. It really works a treat. You can do it anywhere. Like, talk about prepping and disaster recovery or whatever. That's the perfect toilet system, and it's so cheap. You can use a pan, like an aluminium pan, or a small bin, like a small aluminium bin, or a small stainless steel bin. Maybe just drill some holes in it, and you could use that as an incinerator. And just, you poop in a bag and you put the bag in there. Try to use a bamboo bag if you can find one that's made out of like bamboo paper, or like that would be way more eco-friendly, or recycled paper, rather than doing it with one that's made out of a tree, because trees are 10th dimensional. Everything that you use that is a tree product, you're really sabotaging your connection with the higher realms. Like, you should be connecting with the trees right now and anchoring Earth's vibration and lifting it up, and your own. But you're not going to be doing this if you're killing trees, or you're using trees to wipe your backside. And the same as, like, just try and be more mindful about the energy vibration of what you're eating too. Dairy is heavy. Like, they take those baby calves off the mum. That milk's for the babies. Her baby that she loves, that she gave birth to. And they steal her baby, usually slaughter it for veal. And she's mourning her baby. And you're drinking that sad, grieving milk. And that is a heavy vibration, guys. However, there's camel's milk, and like, they leave the babies with the mum. You can taste it. You can taste it there together. and that's a really healthy option. It's a little bit more expensive. There's also mother cow's milk. Now, mother cow's milk is made in Melbourne, and not only do they leave the baby cows with the mums, and they let the baby cows have the first feed, and you get the leftover milk, so the cows are nice and big and healthy calves. They don't force breed. They let the cows and the bulls decide when they want to have children. They get to choose as a herd. And every single one of those bulls, those cows, those calves, that whole family, they're protected for their entire life, through retirement to their dying day. No one will ever harm them or take them away from their home. Now, isn't that a beautiful vibration? If you're drinking dairy, if you're putting dairy milk in your food or making it for your kids, why not use that? Another thing too, the meat that we get in Australia through the slaughter industry, it all has to go through the slaughterhouses for them to stamp it. That's such a satanic, evil thing. Now, what you want to do when you get meat, you're walking through the bush, and there's a roo. Get your gun out if you got a hunting rifle, or a spear if you're old school, and you want to kill that straight away, so it's not in pain and suffering. It's not scared. It hasn't seen all of its bloody mates dying around it and smelling the blood and seeing the cows and you could imagine the scene inside a slaughterhouse. I have heard from people that were driving trucks full of cows to the slaughterhouse that when they're approaching the slaughterhouse, the cows, they become so scared, so fearful, they try and jump over the sides of the truck. These animals have never been in that room before. This is their first time dying. Yet they're that scared. They're that fucking scared, and we eat that. That's got fear energy in it. That is not good for our vibrations when we're going through times of ascension. Fear is one of the lowest vibrations that you can have. And keeping people in fear by us eating food that is laced in fear or drinking heavily fluorinated stable water is not going to help us ascend. We should be having things that are living, vibrant, compassion. If you're eating meat, mate, if you catch a fish out of the ocean, you cut its head straight off. Don't let it flap around and suffer. Straight off, bang. Thank you, fish. That's how I do it. I just like to know it's dead. Its head's gone, mate. There's no if, buts, or maybes. I don't have to worry about it. I know that I'm blessed because I've gotten this beautiful, beautiful snapper out of the sounds in Marlborough in New Zealand. But I don't have to feel bad that it's suffering, because we don't want anything to suffer here. This isn't a journey of suffrage. We're not here to suffer. We're here to ascend to the stars, my sisters and brothers. We're here to remember that we are these gigantic creator beings, these earth angels, these star seeds, that we are sacred and we can create anything with our mind. And when we master our mind, we master the world. We have the ability to do anything we set our minds to. And so respect your water. Have a look at the laws of matter. And have some respect for the original custodians of the world and native tribes and wise people and shamans from all over, because there's a lot of spiritual teachers here. Some are indigenous, some are not, but we're all indigenous to the planet when you think about it. But we are wisdom keepers, and as wisdom keepers we're here to share truth and guide. You know, we're not saying we're better than anyone else because we're older. We're saying that you're our little brothers and sisters on this journey, and we're here to help you through. And that's our role and responsibility. And at the moment, I feel like I've let a lot of people down because we've had to deal with things like colonialism, genocide, loads of forced removals of children, like babies are just stolen off the breast in hospital. Still today, many of them. And while we're going through all of this stuff, even people trying to poison our food because we live too long. It's saying that the indigenous people, that, we have to close the gap because our life expectancy is only like 40 or something. We can live to over 600 on this planet. My people can. So for all of these lies to be pushed out as education, and people aren't getting the wisdom of the elders enough because they're being programmed by these ridiculous systems to not listen for inner guidance and not speak to spirit, mother spirit. People don't know how to channel the trees or the river or tune into the elders or their star families. You know, there's a lot of amazing stuff. Any of you pet owners out there, though, that really love your animals, like your dogs and your cats and your horses, you might feel this yourself. You might feel like you have a telepathic connection with your animals. Like you might be able to talk to them without words, or maybe you just sense what they're thinking and feeling, and you just get each other, you vibe. And that's a beautiful gift, you know. Own that. It's good. Try to reduce your fluoride intake, people, as we go through this. And they're pumping it in the taps like I've never seen before, because they don't want everyone to ascend, and they want us stuck on a prison planet, and they don't want us connecting with our higher selves. But if you take some turmeric and some liquid zeolite and some activated charcoal, you're going to detoxify your pineal gland pretty quickly. Also, things like the Spooky 2 Rife machine have like a fluoride detox on it. It's really great if you can get your hands on one of those bad boys. And they're really handy devices to be able to utilize, and that's using scalar technology. And it works really well, wonders actually. And so, those things are amazing. Dr. Broner's has great toothpaste. You can get Grants at nearly any shop too. There's, use activated charcoal, a bit of bicarb soda, and coconut oil the other days. Like, you're not going to lose your teeth like you would using fluoride. This sodium fluoride is the biggest con. Your teeth get so hard and brittle, they break and chip away. Your teeth are like coral, and they're living and they're breathing, and they heal themselves, and they're very amazing. They're very much like the pineal gland. You know, it's like a living part of your body that moves and breathes. But when you're having this fluoride, it calcifies it, like it hardens the teeth. So we want to try and reduce our fluoride. Try and have like water that's living, active. If you can find fruit off a fruit tree near you, especially heirloom, oh my god, it's so great. Go to the tree, touch the tree, connect with the tree, say, can I please have some fruit? Hug it, hug the tree, and gently take it, or wait until you feel the tree respond. You know, this is going to connect you to the 10D. That food has so much knowledge. It will connect you all the way up. Even today we get stuff, it might even say organic, but it's so newly formed or even hybridized, or it's just not the same. We had an old orange tree at my brother's old place, and it would have been hundreds of years old. And you open the fruit up, and it looked like perfect cells, just all these intricate designs and like just perfection. But then you go to the supermarket and get an orange, and it's like this ripped up solid yellow flesh, where the other one you could see through it and it had these perfect membranes and all these lines and just divine in creation. Totally different to the ripped up bits of fibrous fruit of the orange you're getting from Woolies or Coles. Now, is this deliberate? Is it that the fruit grows quicker? Heirloom is always best, and if you can grow any heirloom seeds, that's great too, because then you can increase the amount of heirloom foods available for your family and your community. You might be able to share some with an elderly neighbour. Anyway, I have rambled on and off today, shared a little bit of wisdom for you guys. I would really I'm actually a certified teacher in channeling the highest realms. I would really, really, really like to just say to you guys, give it a crack. Try to channel. Try to connect with the trees or your higher self. There are ascension herbs like DMT, Yandi, or Ganji, which is marijuana, which my people have been using for eons. And mushrooms, there's blue meanies or purple meanies, I think they're called, and golden tops. I'm not really big on taking these things. There's also DMT, which is from the black acacia, the black wattle, which is an Australian tree. These are very important to my people and sacred. Some places in the world, they do criminalize these ascension herbs, and I feel like that's a direct attack at us being able to open up and ascend. So whatever you are doing, always trust your gut instinct, your heart, and make sure everything comes from a really beautiful place. Another thing you can do too is just drop some, well, not drop, they're not like to be drops, but place some crystals inside some water and sit it in the sun and let the sun and the plasma just infuse it with encodes. Hug the water to your chest like a newborn baby. Send it love. And then that water is love, and you are ingesting that. And then you are the love. Because sometimes we find it hard to give ourselves this self-love, but when you're thinking you're hugging a puppy or a baby, it's way easier. Alright, well, thank you for listening, and bye.